Thank you for joining. My name is Nadya Touch, and I'm health and life coach. And I help people to feel better so they can make a difference in the world. So first of all, I want to ask you a question. How many of you are struggling with bad habits? For example, you want to lose weight and you keep slipping to the same yo-yo dieting effect where you lose weight and then after a while you gain it again, and it's like a vicious cycle. Or you want to feel positive overall about life and just don't seem to sustain it. Or you have that, we call it binge eating, like let's say 10 p.m. and you go to the fridge and you start eating. And when you say to yourself, I'm going to stop, you stop. And you succeed for a while, but then after a while you fall off and you eat again, or maybe even more than you used to. How about if you just want to eat cleaner and healthier every day overall, and maybe you even find like a cleans reset program, and maybe you even get on it and it helps and it works, you lose some pounds, you start eating cleaner, and you actually stick with the diet, with the regimen for a while, and then something happens, you fall off and you're back to your same bad habits. Really, just the list is endless. Give your own example. By the way, feel free to comment your example. So the bad habits, of course, we all want to change them, but it just, we feel so stuck in those habits. It's like the vicious cycle. So at the end of this live stream, I am going to invite you to our free Facebook group, Friends and Health, for your daily inspirations for your wellness journey. And I'll give you more details later, but for now, let's get started. So I have been working with the power of habit for a while. Also, I've been reading a book, The Power of Habit, highly recommended. And I have noticed that everyone seems to be making the same mistake. So these mistakes are easy to make, but they can really have a negative impact on your overall progress and your goals. All right. But the good news that just as you have, and that's very important, listen, just as you have bad habits, you can have good habits. Let me rephrase it. Just as you have formed bad habits, you can form good habits. Here's another rephrase. Pay attention. Just as you have formed old habits, you can form new habits. So you can sustain those habits for your life. And it's all really about your habits. Once your actions become habits, they're deeply programmed in your brain, and therefore you can sustain them for a long period of time or for the rest of your life. Habits are automatic choices. Habits are automatic choices. So let's talk about the habits. We often talk about the actions and the habits. That's how you start forming a habit, is by acting. Okay, so actions come first. But there is a trick here. There is that thing that people make mistake in. So pay attention. Point number one. So to change your habit, you need to understand the psychology behind on how the brain is wired. Somebody in our group actually requested this topic. So what's the psychology behind the habit and making a change. This is it. I'm actually referring to the book, The Power of Habit. Please read it. It's powerful. Habit consists of 3 aspects: trigger, action, and reward. For example, you see the ice cream. Your body reacts, you feel like, oh, saliva is coming out of my mouth and I want to eat it. So you go, you eat it, action, and you get a reward as your taste buds are happy and your brain feels good and comfortable. Or let's say you smell the coffee and you go and you drink it and your body gets a reward of the energy and that you can survive through the day. Or let's say, that's my example, 2-3 p.m. you feel a little bit of like low energy, so that's your trigger. Action, you go drink coffee, you eat chocolate, you bench on snacks. The reward is you got your energy and you actually survive through the day. Again, we are talking about the wiring of your habits, which is deeply programmed in your brain. 10 p.m., you kind of feel a little stressed or overwhelmed after a long day, you feel blue, that's your trigger. You go to the fridge, that's actually the trigger. You see the fridge, there's ice cream or anything else that you want to eat, and action, you go eat it. Reward, your body feels comfortable and you have survived. We are not talking about blaming yourself later. We are talking about how your brain is wired. Your brain is wired to survive, to actually just your survival. So if you haven't died, your brain did the job. That's it. So if you ate that pound of ice cream and you haven't died, your brain did the job. Yeah. So 3 steps of habits is how the critter brain or animal brain is wired. The reward will always be based on survival mode, aimed towards you not to die. Point number 2. So what's now? Okay, so we know that. What do I do about all bad habits? Since the habits are very deeply wired, it's almost impossible to change them by changing the entire 3 aspects of habit: trigger, action, and reward, or eliminating your habit overall. If you do, you succeed for a while, but soon the brain will start panicking because something is changing, it's uncomfortable, and you may actually not survive, you may die. So here's the trick. To help your brain to stay calm, we will trick the brain by not changing all 3 aspects of habit. Again, the brain wants you to survive, but you know that this bad habit is not good for you and for your life and for your goals. But your brain doesn't, so you gotta trick the brain so the brain is happy. Here's what you can do to trick the brain. Keep your trigger. Ice cream will be there. It's always in our refrigerator. My family loves it. Can't do anything about that. Coffee machine is always in my kitchen. The smell will be there. Feeling less energy in the afternoon is just how sometimes body functions. Yes, you can have it at 2-3 p.m. It's always there. Can't escape. 10 p.m. always comes. Kids go to bed, you're by yourself, you might feel a little blue. It's just the normal triggers of life, right? We talk about what if you, like, don't try to remove them. Let them be. Keep the reward, because that's what your brain wants. Your brain wants you to survive. So let's keep the reward, which is energy, right? Or your taste buds are happy, or you survived, you haven't died. That's what your brain wants, for you to survive. So let's give that to our brain. The only thing that you want to alter is your action. The action, for example, is what you're eating, how you're eating, when you're eating, why you're eating, snacking. You can alter that. For example, if you have a 2-3 p.m. low energy and you feel like snacking or drinking coffee, it's my example. So I want to give my brain that calmness that it needs for me in order to survive, not to die. So my taste buds want to be happy, and I want to have energy, and my brain will be okay. So 2 p.m. is still there, a little bit of low energy is still there, that's the trigger. My action is I will still drink, but I can choose what to drink. If I like sweetness, I'll choose a healthier but sweet drink. But it's me personally, now I like green tea. So green tea is my drink in the afternoon. You can choose any drink that somewhat similar to your taste buds. If you love snacks, I do too in the afternoon. My choice is, again, something that will be good for my taste buds, my animal brain perception. I use nuts covered with yogurt. Yogurt is somewhat sweet, and nuts is healthy energy. Green tea, nuts, and yogurt, this is mine. So I really altered my action, but the result I get is the same. My brain gets result of energy. Taste buds are happy. I have survived and I haven't died. So that's the reward that the brain gets. Okay, the snack the dark chocolate. I wanted to put the dark chocolate into it. A piece of dark chocolate, why not? Maybe you like snacking on chocolate in the afternoon. A small piece of dark chocolate is actually pretty good. With green tea, amazing. Just my choice. So point number 3. By the way, if you have some of your examples, let me know. Put in the comments. To settle a new habit in your worrying, you can also use what great health coaches recommend, especially in the beginning of your altering actions. Use the right system, use the right support, and use the right accountability. The right system means the right steps in the right order. The right support means someone to help encourage you when you're feeling stuck. And the right accountability is kick your butt when you're falling off the track. So a little bit about the system I wanted to mention. Psychologists now know that there's a particular period of time for your brain where your habits actually settle in your worrying. It's just the beginning of it. 21 days. There are so many programs are based on this 21 days period. But also to have your habit sustainable, 90 days is a magic number. 90 days. For accountability, you can use your family, your friends. You can use the group that I will mention in a minute. You can use a health coach. So the power of habit is the root of your success as well as the root of your failure. So it's really up to you to choose. Thank you so much for watching. This was Nadya Touch, health and life coach, and this topic was about the power of habit and what to do with your bad habits. And if you like what you heard in this video, I invite you to join our free Facebook group, Friends and Health. I will leave a link in the comments below where you can instantly join. Thank you so much. I look forward to hear your comments. Maybe there's one thing that you're taking away from this video, maybe aha moment or appreciation from this video. Thank you and see you in the community.